magic show. The only thing I got coming out of my ass is noxious fumes. Anyway, I want to start telling you a little bit tonight about a few things. I'm learning more, but there's still 3 things that I haven't figured out yet. Number 1, the meaning of life. Number 2, which came first, the chicken or the egg. And number 3, what the hell nationality is Jessica Alba? I still can't figure it out. Don't get me wrong, it looks good on her. So I can fall on myself here. I'm starting to get old and I'm starting to realize that people piss me off. Well, more than the cause, these modern day hippie tree-hugging parents piss me off. Let me give you the scenario here. I was eating lunch the other day and I see this kid just bouncing around, screaming at the top of his lungs, doing what he wants, you know, that. Well, the mom apparently seen my disgust and she looked over at me and she goes, you know what, leave him be, he's just expressing himself. I rolled my eyes at her and she goes, you know what, you don't understand, he's got ADD. My first thought is you got an HAND that needs to go across his ASS right in on W. I'd expect it. Random thought here though, just kind of putting it out there. If I hooked up with a Vietnamese woman, we had a kid, and I named him Charlie, would that be politically incorrect? Just put it on the back burner, stir it occasionally, keep it from sticking to the bottom of the pan. Anyway, my parents weren't afraid to whoop my ass. I still got the mark to prove it. Okay, so the mark, that's off subject. Anyway, the mark is actually from last night. I was a bad little boy. I had a friend of mine tell me she had some feminine itching. I said, well, let me take a look. She goes, no. She says, let me take a look at it. She goes, I'm not going to let you poke around down there. We're not that kind of friends. After about 20 minutes of me telling her to take a look, she's like, fine, but I'm not going to feel comfortable about it. I'm like, just let me take a look. She says, well, this is easy. Looks like you got a little bit of dehydration and you got a slight fungal infection. Get some Monostat 7 and drink plenty of water. You'll be fine in no time. She goes, wow, are you a gynecologist? I says, no, but I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express last night. I did stay at a hotel not too long ago. I had some legal issues in Indiana, and I went and talked to my lawyer. He says, well, I've got good news and bad news. I said, well, good God, what's the bad news? He goes, well, with this little incident, you may have to do about 120 hours of community service. You may have to have a year of probation, and you're probably going to take some anger management classes. I said, good God, what's the good news? He goes, good news, I just saved 15% of my car insurance by switching to Geico. He told me it was so easy a caveman could do it. I said, what are you trying to insinuate, Bob? Anyway, I had a call this morning before I even got my Pop-Tarts put in the toaster. And guess who it was? One of them foreign telemarketers. And they go, of course, the first thing I hear is, hello! Would you be interested in a business proposition? I can make you work from home. I says, all right, what's going on here? He says, well, my name is John Anderson. I says, bullshit, Ahmed, what's your name? Well, anyway, he didn't give me his name. He says, well, I tell you what, all you need is $500. And we can have the material sent right to you to work from home. I says, Ahmed, I'm not giving you $500. He says, well, why not? It'd be a wonderful opportunity. I says, for one, I don't know anything about you. He goes, well, I got a website, and I couldn't make it out. All it sounded like was AhmedMakeBomb.com. But so I says, that 1K or 2. Anyway, so I says, he goes, well, maybe I could give you email. You have email address? I says, yes, I have email address. What's your email address? I was like, BillyBobHatesForeigners.NRA. I don't think I'm going to hear from Ahmed for a while. You guys ever wake up and realize the last thing you remember is a quarter hitting the bottom of the shot glass? I was reminiscing about with a few friends about that just not too long ago, actually. It was New Year's about 4 years ago. And the last thing I remember is waking up, talking to somebody, and not really even realize what I'm saying. Finally I come to, I said, God, my head hurts. He starts laughing. I says, what's so damn funny? He goes, he took out every wall in the house and 2 in the garage with it. Says, so that's the only reason my head hurts? He goes, well, I don't know, it could be something else. I said, so I come to the conclusion that it was the concussion that caused my blackout. It had nothing to do with the 5 shots of Cuervo, 6 beers, and God knows how many Jello shots. But I tell you what, though, there are some few things. Anybody close with their family? Hoping they are? Guess not. Oh, there we go. My grandmother passed away not too long ago. She had a horrible disease known as MS. And I wouldn't wish that on my nearest and closest enemy, but, you know, we did things to keep her spirits up, though. We always did stuff like take her to the park and let her play with the other old people, and run down the street with a wheelchair, and you go, ee! She always had that cute way of saying, God damn it, come Anyway, my grandparents owned a sewing machine store in Rock Island not too long ago, and we were working on a machine out there, and next thing I know, my grandmother was on her hands and knees picking up some string. I says, Grandma, I could have picked that up for you. She goes, it's all right, I was already down here. 2 full-grown adults laughing so damn hard we couldn't get off the floor for 20 minutes. But anyway, so, you know, it's horrible. Towards the end, she got to the point where she couldn't hardly feed herself, and that's a horrible thing. And my sister would always feed her, and she'd do that little flying spoon thing, that whoop, pull it away from her. Well, finally, my grandma got her dentures sunk into my sister's hands. Figure she got what she deserved. Well, anyway, I'm seeing that I'm out of time here. My name's Gene Davis. You guys have a good night.
Keep it going for Gene Davis. All right, folks, on deck is Scott and Malcolm coming up.